On today's menu, Seattle oyster zealot John Rowley reveals the complex world of oysters.
Yeah, oysters got it pretty good. They just lay there in bed and feed away.
An Italian aqua store custom picks the water that's best for you.
In the 10 years, water will be more important than wine.
Alkaline water puts the spring back in Chinese dim sum.
It smells like the green part of boiled eggs, like sulfurous.
A Spanish fisherman shares saltwater secrets from his seaside haunt.
The sea is beautiful and cruel at the same time.
And in the kitchen, an H2O solution to save some favorite sauces.
Something about oysters brings me back to Paris, you know, as a young 19-year-old reading Hemingway's Movable Feast, talking about as I ate the oysters with the cold taste of the sea and washed them down with the crisp white wine. I lost the empty feeling and began to be happy and to make plans. Oysters, when they're really good, you always kind of have this feeling there's something wonderful that's about ready to happen. Yeah, that looks good. I'm John Rowley, and I've had a lifelong love affair with the oyster since 18 or 19 years old. Oh, it's all about water, and it's all about clean water.
Water everywhere, and it's not all the same. Sparkling, salty, alkaline, or bottled, this pure life-sustaining substance permeates our food chain and can make all the difference in the quality of the food we eat. In Quilcene, Washington, a few miles from Seattle, the life of an oyster, from spawning to maturity, depends on the water in which it lives. The taste, the texture, the shape, the size are all determined by their saltwater home. Oyster expert John Rowley waxes poetic about this life aquatic, so integral to the growth of this briny treat.
This is an oyster picnic I put together. Just turn a bucket upside down on the oyster bed and
Nice way to spend an afternoon.
I've had the pleasure of working with restaurants in Seattle and Chicago and Washington, D.C., putting their oyster bars together and just been having a lot of fun. You know, I've had great oyster moments with Julia Child, and that woman, she had an enormous capacity for oysters on the half shell. I'm pretty sure I've seen her put away about 6 dozen oysters at a sitting, and I kept up with her, you know.
I don't think I've ever counted. I bet I could do that easily.
I've seen you do that. Well, Bill, it's always a pleasure.
Salute.
Bill Taylor is a fourth-generation oysterman. His family has been in this business here for over 100 years.
These oysters come a long ways from the hatchery. It's probably there 4 years ago when first was spawned and been on the beach here for the last couple of years, and then it goes down so fast.
Taylor Shellfish Farms has a hatchery in Quilcene, Washington. Dabob Bay is a little bay that runs off the north end of Hood Canal in Puget Sound. I like coming to the hatchery because every time I come I learn something new, I see something new, and it's fascinating.
John, these are the adult oysters. We call them broodstock. We actually use to spawn. We bring them in, we warm the water up 20 degrees Celsius or so. We add food until they're ready to spawn.
So it's a combination of food and temperature.
Food and temperature makes them think of springtime and lets them condition. Yeah, so it's time to reproduce.
An oyster reproduces by producing male or female gametes.
See all this white here? They're all oyster eggs. And on the bottom side, if I turn that over, you see the eggs actually running down that knife?
Yeah. Now in the bay, they spew, don't they? Like make a milky cloud in the water?
Make a cloud in the water. You'll see them clapping and they'll just spew out the sperm and egg. Usually within a few minutes to half hour, they'll all be spawning.
A lot of action.
A lot of action. Once one gets started, they all get going.
The larvae are microscopic, and the larvae are free-swimming, and they have a little sticky head. Whatever they run into, that's where they spend the rest of their life.
They want to attach to something. Hopefully it's something we want them to attach to. Like this shell, which has been dried and ground and screened, is roughly the same size as an oyster larvae is. It's ready to go through metamorphosis. It's ready to set. There's about 9 million little little oysters right there, just about ready to go through metamorphosis.
If all those larvae were to survive, that would be more than enough to feed the whole New York City half-shell market for a year, wouldn't it?
That they would. Your key word is if they were all to survive, and that never happened. The seed you're seeing here is probably 6 weeks to 8 weeks post-set from larvae stage.
Same thing.
Just a small end versus the big end.
Those are so cute.
If you look at the bigger one there, you can see it's starting to take the shape of an actual adult oyster.
Later, John Rowley returns the baby oysters to the Puget Sound so they can grow to maturity. But first, alkaline water has long been a staple of Chinese cooking. With its acidic qualities, this caustic water gives noodles a distinctive springiness. Although dangerous to drink this water alone, once cooked, the noodles are safe to eat. At this Beijing culinary school, just the right amount can put the balance back into savory Chinese dim sum.
My name is Long Xiong. I'm a student at Tangren Meisi Xuexiao, which is a culinary school in Beijing, China. So I was born in China, but I came to the United States at the age of 1, and I grew up in Boston. This is a step towards learning about my own culture and about just Chinese food in general. Today's class is about dough, and we're going to be learning about noodles and buns and things of that nature. Apparently, one of the necessary ingredients for this dough class is alkaline water, or jian sui, which is basic water as opposed to like acidic. It used to be made by passing water through ashes, and through that process it picks up some of the chemicals within that ashes, but now it's a sodium potassium carbonate powder. When I was trying to figure out what it was, I was wondering if I could like taste it, and they were like, oh no, don't do that, that's probably not a good idea, you could hurt yourself. It smells like the green part of boiled eggs, like sulfurous a little bit. It's not like baking soda or baking powder or anything like that, it's its own creature.
对，你家的不多是还酸呢。
Teacher Wong is going to separate basic bun dough into 2 batches, and then from there we're going to use alkaline water on one batch and then not on the other, so we can see directly how it affects both of them. The ones without the alkaline water are sour. If you smell the dough, you can smell sort of like a soury sweetness, but with the alkaline water in there, it kills out the acidity of the sourness, so it makes it just have the sweetness, and it's pretty pleasant. These are the ones that don't have alkaline water, and these are the ones that do. You can see my fingerprint when I push the non-alkaline one, but when I push the alkaline one, it bounces back quicker and stronger. The one without the alkaline is not chewy, and it's a little bit sour. It doesn't feel as nice in your mouth, but the one with the alkaline water does have a better mouthfeel and just overall texture and flavor. It's got a good bounce to it, which is something that Chinese people really prize. Our teacher is now going to use the alkaline water to make la mian, which literally means like cold noodles. At first, I think she's just pressing the alkaline water into the dough and just working it in. I'm really excited to see how things turn out. Imagine like someone taking a normal bread dough and then just pulling it and then folding it and pulling it and folding it and pulling it and folding over and over again to get individual strands of noodles. That's just really an interesting concept that had never really occurred to me as a way to make noodles before. Originally, I thought that alkaline water would help stretch the noodles, but it actually makes it a little bit more difficult to stretch. But in the final product, it'll be a little bit bouncier in your mouth, which is ideal for Chinese noodles. After I saw what she did, I was incredibly impressed just by looking at how fine the noodles were. They're almost hair fine. It was really incredible. Prior to my going to China, I really had very little idea about how Chinese pastries were made, but once I encountered alkaline water for the first time, I was really intrigued. I didn't know what it was, and I was trying to figure out why did people use it, why was it necessary, why could it not be replaced by something else, and that was like a really great personal discovery for me.
暑假第一档
Ready for major remodel.
全新的装备，全新的组合。